What's up, guys? Coach Colonna here with Coach Wolverine, and we actually just started talking about something, and we stopped the conversation because we needed to get this out. We need to share this with everybody. So,
the dark side of gym therapy. So, when we allude to gym therapy, right? When people say, "I need to go to the gym because it's my therapy," it's good, but what if you hold on to that as your identity? What if going to the gym is what you purposely strive to be known for? So then my question is are you actually going to the gym for therapy, or are you going to the gym to run away from other life's problems? Because inherently, the other 23 hours of your day, outside of sleeping, of course, should not be all aimed at looking forward to that 1 hour of your day of just being in the gym.
or for some people who become extra attached to the gym, it becomes 2, 3. We've spent enough time in gyms to know that there are people that regularly spend 4 hours of their day at the gym. Again, not that it's bad for gym to be a therapy. It is a release. You get positive endorphins. You work on yourself. There's all of these positives which we talk about all the time, and it's actually created a bit of a stigma. The people that go to the gym are doing it because they care about their health, they care about their wellness, and they're doing it to work on themselves.
Nobody goes to the gym because they're like, golly geez, I love myself, I'm gonna go exercise today.
Yeah.
No, they go there because either they feel they're too big, they feel like they're too small, they are insecure in some way, shape, or form, or the doctor told them, hey, you need to exercise because this bad thing is going to happen if you don't fix this health issue now.
And to be fair, the people that typically end up going to the gym because it's a part of their identity or because it's become an expectation with their circle. So it's like, if someone doesn't post that they're at the gym on their story or anything like that today, their meals, whatever it is that's centered around their performance in the gym, we've kind of brought it on ourselves that we have this feeling of like, oh, he's just, so there, people are going to think I'm being lazy, or I'm not working out, or I'm not doing my thing, because my thing is the gym. And again, like, that's only an hour of your day, and there's room in that. We've talked about it before. Like, if gym is your profession, it's your job, it's your career, it's those things, then obviously that's going to be a part of your identity, because profession in itself is a part of wellness, as we've discussed in length in another one of our videos. But what happens is we start just like, everything's going to be okay, I'll just go eat whatever, like, and I'll just take all the shit for the next 23 hours and I'll go back to the gym and I'll let it out. It's okay. It is a release for aggression, sure. But we've touched on it again a ton with environment. It's an isolated environment where we have the ability to increase the productivity and effectiveness of our other 23 hours. Like, we go to the gym, it's going to give us more energy. It's going to allow us to be stronger, to go do physical activities. It's going to give us a sense of like community. We meet people. It's harder to meet people now than it ever has been.
Yep.
Right? So all of these things are phenomenal positives that come out of the gym, but your identity as far as who you are is like, you're a good person that goes to the gym. You're not Dylan or Kyle that is the gym, right? Like, that's not who you are. And that, going down the domino effect of it all, really loses a part of like interaction, communication, and just overall well-being that we want to touch on, because we know a ton of people that they lose the gym. And you, to be fair, if you lose the gym, like if the gyms all were shut down again tomorrow, you do not lose the ability to lift weights or be healthy or work on yourself or wellness. You don't lose that. That is not one-to-one with the gym. You can find a solution to go do that as long as it's rooted in the right place. Work out at home, work out outside, do all these things, because we have endless opportunity there. But if your identity is tied to showing up, clocking in, the selfies, the videos, those things, then it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be hard.
So, in light of that statement, actually, I have to have a bit of a client praise moment here, because one of my past clients that I had was probably the most innovative individual I'd ever witnessed in the fitness industry. Because when the gym shut down, she had nothing to train. And I watched her post videos of herself lifting her couch, using her dog over her shoulders for weights, for doing squats, like just random things around the house just to get her exercise in. She did not allow her identity to be lost simply because the gym was closed. And that's important because as Kyle here touched on, it's like, it's, you know, this is Kyle who enjoys working out, going to the gym to further progress the rest of his life, right? I am Dylan. I train. I like to be healthy. I like to be functional so I can perform outside of the gym. But when we identify as just being in the gym and that's taken away from us, just like when I had my knee injury and I wasn't able to train for almost a year and I fell into that depressive hole because I identified as a powerlifter. Not Dylan who powerlifts, I was Dylan the powerlifter. And so that's where that identifying as, it gets to be very, very toxic because it is a small fraction of your life that is supposed to be used to excel the other aspects of your life. It's a part of your life. Just like when you're in a relationship with someone, they are a part of your life, not your entire life. And one aspect that I always, it just seems to come up. I tend to have a lot of clients that are also very physically active. And being that I'm a confidence coach, I have a lot of clients that are very physically fit, very physically attractive men and women, but yet they still have insecurities. And because they use the gym as a tool to mask other areas of their life, not confronting where the actual insecurity lays. And this is not to put shade on anyone out there. I started training in the gym because I fucking hated myself. I hated how I looked. I hated how I acted. I hated everything. You picked an aspect of myself, I hated it. I was in the gym for 3-4 hours a day until I couldn't use that body part. Looking back, in hindsight, of course, that is not the way to do it because every other aspect of my life was miserable except for when I was in the gym destroying
certain
my
parts
body. Exactly, and that's not the way to do it. But as soon as all of us as a collective, start reshaping our relationship with it. You know, fitness, health is so important. Our physical health is probably one of the most important aspects of our life because if this is unhealthy, this is going to be unhealthy. Now, I'm not saying you have to be ripped with the six-pack. I mean, clearly, that is not how we are built either. But we go to the gym to become a better person than who we were yesterday in the physical aspect, in the pursuit of a healthy lifestyle to perform better elsewhere. And that is the root. That's where it needs to be. As soon as you start having to justify to yourself anything more than that, it starts to become a very toxic place where you start creating excuses for yourself as to why you feel this way, allowing yourself to stay in that victim mindset and not moving out of that victim mindset. If you happen to be watching this as somebody who is just thinking about entering the gym and you are feeling a little bit unsure or insecure because when you walk into the gym, it's very intimidating because there's people in there that are either really jacked or really in shape and have this amazing body, I promise you that only about 1% of every single people that are in that gym are actively working on their own internalized stuff. The gym is purely just a front. And so those people that, you know, very, very much built, or, you know, the women that look like they'll be on the front of a swimsuit Illustrator magazine, more often than not are just as, if not more, insecure than you're currently feeling at your particular place in your life.
Do you mind if I jump in?
Absolutely.
So, being at the gym for ages, right? I used to spend working there. Would spend 9-ish hours on average at the gym. Your baseline perspective of what a fit person is loses touch with the reality of everybody that doesn't go to the gym, because you're constantly only looking at the population that's at the gym, and then the ones that you see every single day and develop relationships with, chances are they're all quite fit. And I've had great, phenomenal gym-based fitness conversations with people of all levels of fitness. The craziest thing to me is I've had great lifestyle and like overall life conversations with people that I would say are very fit, but they're not the 1% that are absolutely shredded or they're pulling the most weight. But what they're doing is showing up consistently with a purpose, and they are freeing up more of themselves to go do other stuff, whether it's reading books, taking like in school classes, whatever. They're using the gym to better the rest. And that's not saying like if you want to be in that 1% fit, you've got to sacrifice other things. There's no way around that. You're either gonna take supplements or more, right, to get to that point, because that's the reality of it. Everyone that is like that freak level of fit, not everybody, but pretty damn close, is on something. And that's a whole nother conversation. But the whole thing is that the people that are at the peak in the gym are sacrificing a lot outside of the gym. The people that are a little bit lower, they're quite fit, and you have a good conversation with them, you realize that the wellness and the happiness that comes from these people is far beyond what the top performers in the gym are. And that's why I harp so much. I call my clients that aren't athletes with a specific performance, they're everyday athletes, because they're performing every single day. And the whole mantra, the whole thing is we learn to perform life better, because that's just what it is. So at no point am I expecting a client to go from overweight to shredded or no energy to running marathons. That is not what living 24 hours better is, but it is having a better perspective, running into gratitude, facing challenges, finding solutions, not hiding behind solutions. And I know for myself, like, I was always in the gym, I got really out of shape, but I would justify, to hark back to last week's video, I would over justify me putting in a workout for 40 minutes made it okay for me to go eat 2 burgers or whatever. Or, okay, well, whatever. And then I was at a point, at one point where I was having 900 milligrams of caffeine a day, which, depending on how much you know about caffeine, that's a lot. And that was strictly just because like I felt like I needed to kind of manufacture some higher energy for me to get through the day, and that's not good, right? All of that can be addressed.
But you had to justify why you needed that caffeine.
Exactly. So the whole thing basically comes down to whether you have 20 minutes or 2 hours, you need to utilize that time that you're working on yourself to better your 24 hours. And we've kind of gone through, we talked about it in conjunction, but we wanted to really narrow that down, because a lot of the people that even I would consider like good friends or people we talk to a lot are in kind of that, like, gym is my happy place, and that's fine as long as we're working elsewhere, right? And it's not to throw shade on anyone or anything, it's just to try and open up a door and say like, hey man, like, you're so good at this isolated environment that's in the gym, you're hitting PRs, you're always getting progress, you're strict outside, you're doing all this stuff. Let's just expand that. Let's use the same process and the same model for something else, whether it's you want to get into a new career, you want to work on your communication, your relationships, like whatever it is, it's exactly the same process. And we just want to kind of open that up and be like, okay, you're starting to master this. What happens when you do? What happens when you top out? Where do you go from there?
So I think with that too, is there's this eluding thought, belief, expectation that really attaches itself to this of, I'll be happy when
something else happens.
I'll be happy when I have the 6-pack. I'll be happy when I have the nice car. I'll be happy when I have whatever it is. And let me tell you, having the 6-pack, it's not all it's cracked up to be. I walked around last year with that, and it was more work than what it's worth. It's no more 6-pack because it's too much work, and it did not make me happy.
Sacrifice, right?
Yeah, it was the sacrifice was greater than what my current life goals were. Now, if I was competing in bodybuilding, well, that's a little bit different, but I'm not a bodybuilder.
It becomes your profession.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you have the belief that you'll be happy when, no, you won't.
They'll always find something else. And like the craziest thing, like if your goal is weight loss, when you lose all that weight, you're like, you know what? I'd like bigger arms. Your arms get bigger. You're like, guess what? I need a bigger chest. And that's like, you're always going to find a problem.
You're going to find some other problem that you have to then justify to yourself why you have to get this solution as the outcome. If you can't figure out how to be happy now, hey, we get it. We've been there. And that's why people like us are here. We're here because we want to talk about these things, because it's very, very possible to be happy now. And then even if you're happy now and you still want those gym results,
That's
absolutely. That is completely okay, and it's amazing. That's something that you still want to work for. But if you're not happy now, you're not going to be happy with the six-pack.
And I can say, if you are happy now and those goals are your goals, you're going to enjoy the process that much more, and it's going to be that much more fun. You're going to be more consistent, less burnout. You're going to have less sacrifice. Like, the positives of just being positive in the face of, like, yeah, I want to get there, but I'm going to be positive from here to there. I'm going to be kinder to myself and others, and I know I'm going to get there because you're doing the right things. You're going to bring on opportunities, are going to come up, friends, opportunities, relationships, communication, all these things are going to just happen. And you're still going to get your goals. You're going to enjoy the process. You're going to have a lot more to look back on. And that might be the peak for you, right? And it stops being attached to that goal stops being your identity, and the process does, so you can really share that with other people. And I know that's something like we've gone through in different aspects, and we still want to share. That's why we do what we do. And that's why we're here, is we want to share as much information as we can. And we talked about it, especially in the last few weeks. Obviously, if you don't agree with what we said, please let us know, right? We want to have conversations, because the only way we're going to get better with a more well-rounded perspective is having these conversations with people that don't necessarily agree with everything that we say. And we appreciate the support, and people that do agree, and people that these videos are reaching out to. Great. That's again why we're here. But if you've ever been in a classroom or a setting where there's a debate, like not just like, hey, I'm going to ask a question, get an answer. There's like a legitimate debate. Everyone that's standing on the outside is also learning. So we need a few people to, whether they want to ask a question, punch holes in anything, step up, because we're looking forward to hearing it every week, and we're going to be there to answer. So.
Hey guys, so that was part one. Stay tuned next week for part two of this discussion, where we're going to elaborate just a little bit more, but we want to keep the length of this video just a little bit itty bitty to hold your attention. So thank you for watching.
We want your time, but not all of it. That's all we're doing.